in Canada.
The Run to the Hills rally that happens here started because of a man named Bob Ross and Mark Koosman. And it started out as a 2-day event and is now a 10-day event that encompasses the entire county and really tries to get people riding around and learning all about this region. From the economic development point of view, what do you think of that concept of building tourism as another economic corridor?
Well, I think that there's a lot of lessons that we've learned during COVID. And one of the things that changed is tourism became not about going to Mexico or further out, because people don't want to get stuck there. They're seeing that things could change, and they have been stuck in places like that. They want to be close to their home, and they want to see basically their back 80 type of thing, or back 40, whatever the terminology is.
Yeah.
And I think that it's crucial to economic development to develop any tourism opportunities for locals, essentially. So people that are local to Alberta. I think at the rally we certainly get people from Europe as well as United States. But I think a large proportion of the people that are coming are simply coming from Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Grand Prairie, those kind of places, right? And I think that those are the people that we try to cater to the most, and all the events. And so, for example, the boat rides, by themselves they do great, but during the rally they're booked solid. You can't do a day trip. The only ones that we make available are the 2-hour joyrides, essentially,
right?
Because we want people to enjoy them and then get hungry and come back. This gives us an opportunity to showcase our community to the world.
Exactly. And I think that the Wayside Fallen Riders Monument gives people that ride motorcycles that automatic, oh geez, there's a great day ride, or there's a great destination. On the world stage, because it's the only one of its kind in Canada, it also gives you the opportunity to start marketing in a grander way that you have this unique facility.
Yes.
The one thing I've noticed about the community is everybody has truly gotten behind the rally. In the beginning, it wasn't so much so.
It's true. The supposed gang affiliations that people see are not true. And so when they see a little bit of leather and a biker, they assume that they're not just being safe and they don't want to fall off the bike and scratch themselves. That's why they're wearing leather. But at first they were seeing people that were bad, and they assumed that they're not, there's something going on. Then they walked into their stores and they became best friends, and they welcomed them every year. This community has discounts. I mean, I was shocked. I said I need to get a bike because I don't bike, just so I can golf. Because our local golf course has a special for bikers where they give them the cart and the golf and the golf clubs, because obviously it's hard to put golf clubs on a bike, for $40. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, and have one of the best 9-hole golf courses, right? And I know that there's a lot of bikes that can park out there on a regular basis, not just during the rally, going golfing, right?
I think the whole idea of the rally has really spurred regional tourism.
Yes.
People just coming out to check things out on a day-to-day basis. I think also you're getting a lot more people that come out in cars afterwards, once the season is over, and they go exploring and looking for interesting things. It's a beautiful thing about people that ride motorcycles. They also have cars and trucks and get around in other ways. So they're not just your tourist during riding season, but they become your tourist all year long if you work to earn them.
Yes. And something that I noticed, and I live about 100 kilometers away from here, and what I noticed, a lot more bikes on that highway. But I live near Métis Crossing, and I asked him, so what happens? He said, Adam, our hotel during the week when we're always kind of, not so full, is fuller and fuller, and people are staying and they're bikers, right? Because on a bike, it's not like you're driving a great distance. You drive a short distance, you stop, you enjoy the surroundings, you stretch a little bit, and then you keep on going. Because I would assume that it's a little hard to go 500 kilometers at a time and not be tired because you're very active in the way you're driving, right?
Well, there's that, but also you have to have a motorcycle only hauls so much fuel.
Yes.
And so from the smallest of motorcycles that has a peanut tank with 2
Yeah.
gallons of gas in it to something like mine with 6 gallons of gas in it, you can only go between 140 and 300 kilometers before you need to stop.
To stop, yeah.
And when you do stop for fuel, you get some water, you get maybe a snack, you stretch. So the motorcyclist in particular is the ultimate of tourists.
Absolutely.
Because they're constantly spending money a little bit at a time.
And how much can you
go.
bring on that bike, right? Everything that you're gonna be buying everywhere, which is great, which is what we want. And I mean, Bob Ross, a friend of mine, obviously, has noticed that from the very beginning, being a biker himself. But actually, when he developed this rally, he saw what everybody's seeing now, and every single business here supports the bikers, and you can see it through the signs that we put out there that says supporting Bike Week and welcome bikers are welcome and all that kind of stuff to make sure that people come, and there actually is a lot. And I know that what I've noticed as well is that people, because if the weather doesn't cooperate during the rally, they'll come before or after. Usually after the rally is over, they still keep on trickling in. You see them coming in, you see them trying to catch, and like you said with the memorial, that's another thing that really draws them in there. What we really need is places, organized places for people to stop at, right? Like the memorial, right? Like I've personally have stopped there on my travels and just unpack a lunch, get all the kids out of the vehicle, they sit around the tables and they ask questions. Oh, look at this is how cool is that bench that's been done this way or that way? Can we do a fire? Absolutely. And so it's been wonderful, and I think that's what we need is those stops, and we need maps of those stops for people to know where they can stop and understand, and they need that little bit of marketing material. And I think that of course we need to geotag and do the technical stuff, but I actually think that it starts from a little tiny book that you can open up and actually have a map with you, go, oh, there it is, and then keep on going and say, oh, okay, it's a little bit further over there and over there. And I think that the large population still would prefer that little book that they can grab and figure out what to do, because as much as we like to think we're in a digital era, the spottiness of our internet is there. And it reminds you of the simple basic things and having things written down. And it was crazy how many times people come into the office and say, hey, what's the next event for the biker rally? Because they themselves didn't copy the right post, and they didn't know when the events are. Of course, we had the events right there on the wall, so the girls would either tell them on the phone or send them to it. But yeah, I think that the biggest thing is having marked locations, created those locations, created something that people could stop with amenities, right? I think that's important that we have the bathrooms there, and that we have a little bit of a convenience store or ability to get something, or one of my dreams was actually at the memorial park that on some weekends that we would just have somebody with a barbecue there doing hot dogs and kubasa or something like that, or pierogi, something simple, nothing crazy, and just sitting there and feeding people as they come through. And once people get used to that's it's a seasonal thing that people do, I think would get a lot more popular.